Hi everyone, I am Dr.S.Pradeepa, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Management Studies in Bishop Heber College. Today I am going to talk about capital structure. This is very important topic in a financial management. So in this video we will detailedly discuss about this topic, not only in a subject perspective, being a business person they should aware about this concept. While forming a business, while forming a capital, they should know about what is capital and what is the different source of fund they have to acquire from outside, that they have to know it well in advance. So this topic is not only student perspective or subject perspective, it's very important for the business persons. Now let get into the subject. Here this is a topic, capital structure. Before get into a capital structure, let me explain what is capital first. So as you all know that capital means investment what you made for a business. So that is a capital. Here capital structure, which means here the meaning given, mix of firm's capitalization and includes long term sources, which means what are the sources of fund you are accumulated in a capital is called as a capital structure, that too long term source of fund. The business person, while they forming a capital, they will not focus on the short term source of fund, they will focus on only the long term sources, because short term source of fund means they have to repay that amount within 1 year. But when comes in a long term, they need not bother about up to 5 years or 10 years to repay that amount to the lenders. So they always focus on the long term source of fund in a capital. So they focus on only the long term source of fund, because when they are accumulating a fund in a capital, they will think about only making a fund from outside. Say for example, if you are starting a business with a capital of 50 lakhs, so the whole money it has come out of your pocket, that is not a problem at all. But 30 lakhs in your hand and remaining 20 lakhs you are focusing on outside. Say for example, you are getting you are borrowing a money from a bankers. So that in that case, so business person they will take minimum 5 years to 10 years of time to repay that amount. So while framing a capital, they always think about the long term source of fund, not a short term source of fund. In what combination, what consistency, what proportion they have a capital in a business is called as a capital structure here. According to Justin Berg, he has given a definition, that is capital structure is a makeup of firm's capitalization, which means what is the proportion of equity and debt preference share capital. So say for example 49% equity share capital and 51% is a debenture, and what is the proportion, what is the percentage they have funds in a capital is called as a capital structure. So this is the meaning and definition of capital structure. And coming to the choice of capital, so how we have to form a capital, in what way we have to form a capital, whether we can go alone with the owner's fund or else we'll go along with the debentures, or going with the equity share plus preference share then debenture. Likewise, how we have to form a capital. This is the choice of capital. The choosing a capital is very difficult for all kind of business. It is not quite common, because based on the business, risky position of the business and type of the business, the choice of capital is differ. So this is the slide it is. And coming to that, forms of capital structure. So forms of capital structure means the whole amount in a capital, it deals only with the equity, which means owner fund alone. They are not what is that, they are not getting a fund from outside, or they are not borrowing any fund from outside. The owner fund is owner fund alone, it is there in a capital, means that is a equity share capital. And coming to the second form is proportion of equity and preference share capital. So I told you an example, 50 lakhs is needed for starting a business means, so 30 lakhs is a owner fund and remaining they'll go for issuing a preference shares to the general public. So 20 lakhs they are raising through the preference share means the combination equity and preference share capital. And coming to the third one is equity and debenture. Hope you know the preference share capital and debenture. Like debenture means it's a long term bond which is given. Third proportion is equity and debenture. So equity is a owner fund and then debenture, it is another way of long term sources of fund. So for a debenture it will take a minimum of 10 years to 15 years, minimum 5 and maximum is 15 years. Until that the owner, the business person, they have to repay the, they have to pay only the interest, they need not to bother about to repay that the whole amount. So every year end once they get a profit, they are supposed to give a interest to the debenture holder. So this is the proportion of equity and debenture capital. And coming to that proportion of equity, preference and debenture capital, as well as they can go for into a bank loan. So all together they have a forms in a capital. That is a different way of capital structure in a business. And coming to that next slide, for any topic we have objectives. So in this topic also have objectives. First one is to reduce cost of capital. So what is the term here, cost of capital? We used to say the term cost of the product. So no, so cost of the product means for making that product how much we are spending it. So that is a term we can use it, cost of the product. The same way cost of capital means when the company is getting or making a fund from outside or find out the sources of fund from outside, how much they are spending to get back that fund from outside is called as a cost of capital. Say for example, company they want to raise money through preference share capital. Say for example, I told you like 50 lakhs or 1 crore they want to rise through preference share capital means for that every year end they have to pay a dividend to the preference shareholders. That is a one kind of expenses. And while they issuing a preference share to the people, processing fee and documentation fee, all those things are there, no? So that all the cost accumulated in a preference share capital is called as a cost of preference share capital. So likewise we have a different sources, no, like equity, debenture and then preference share capital. For everything we supposed to calculate how much expenses, how much cost is occurred. So simply we can say cost of obtaining funds is called as the cost of capital, where we are getting a less figure, less percentage, that we have to take it as a fund to the company. So that is to reduce cost of capital. Say for example, debenture is the best option because if company is issuing a debenture to the people so that they are raising 10 lakhs amount now, up to 10 years they have to pay 10% or 8% interest to the debenture holder. They need not to pay extra. What they have given in a document, that is more than enough. We have to satisfy that interest rate alone. If companies grows like anything, we need not to give that extra interest to the debenture holders, because the document itself it shows that 8% or 10% interest we supposed to give to the debenture holder, means that we have to follow it. So where we have to get a less expenses arise, that capital we have to take it. That is to reduce the cost of capital. And coming to that, minimize the risk. So like debenture is one of the less risky option while forming a capital. So likewise whichever sources is giving a less risk, that we have to take it as a fund in a capital. And coming to that, to maximize the return. So any kind of action we at last will think about to get maximum return. That is also one of the objective here. And last one is to control over the organization. And coming to that next is factors determining capital structure. And this all is very important one to influencing a capital structure. So first one is the nature of the business. So in our first slide itself I told you, like equity share capital means owner fund, those who are taking a more risk. So if it is a small business, means owner fund is alone enough to meet out the business. If it is a big business, we are doing a multiple business activity, we are having a huge market, means we have to go along with the preference and debenture. So likewise, nature of the business and size of the business and how we are going to utilize that capital, the whole 365 days we are going to utilize that fund. Or else if it is a seasonal product, means say for example ice cream production and all, like summer season they have a huge production, and when it comes in a winter season they will have only the less production. So during that time they will not invest much. So how company is going to utilize the fund, that is also deciding a capital structure here, as we discussed in the earlier slide, cost of capital. So cost of obtaining funds, it should be lesser, which means that only that structure will be good, otherwise it is not a good structure. And growth and stability of the sales, similar like I told you, like ice cream, wool and cloths. So such kind of products and all, it is not having a proper sale in all 365 days, it's there in up and down. So then flexibility and condition of the market, sometimes the market will be high and sometimes market will be low. So based on that, our accumulation of funds in a capital structure, that will influence. So these are all the factors influencing a capital structure. And coming to the theories, we have two theories, relevance and irrelevance theory. Under the relevance, net income approach and traditional approach, and irrelevance, net operating income approach and moving millennia approach. What is this relevance? What is that irrelevance means? The capital structure proportion is influencing a value of the firm or not. Whether it is influencing a value of the firm by having a different combination. Say for example, equity funds are more than the debt fund, which means that owner fund is huge, borrowed fund is less. That influence the value of the firm or not. So that is a relevance and irrelevance. If it is relevant, it is influencing, value of the firm is influencing, means it comes under a relevance. It is not influencing, there is no connection between capital structure frame and then value of the firm, which comes under an irrelevance. So here net income approach and traditional approach is talking about the relevance, and approach and net operating approach, both the theory talk about irrelevance. This we can have a separate video. Thank you so much.